Have you ever heard the saying that says that being a good girl doesn't pay? Has it ever occurred to you that sometimes those ladies that were mean, that were very strict with what they were doing, are the ones that get everything that you desire in life, while you that were being accommodative, being a nice girl, saying yes to everybody, never got anything, and you wondered why? You said yes to things that you wanted to say no to. You have discounted your price for people. You said yes when you wanted to say no. You were not strict on your boundaries. You had no boundaries at all. You overworked yourself. You over-explained yourself. You over-apologized. You over-delivered. And then you wonder why you were exhausted and underpaid. You wonder what's going on. You see those people that are becoming mean, the ones you call wicked, are the ones that are getting everything, that you are the ones getting the deals, getting the contracts, even sometimes getting the men. And then you wonder, what is it? I'm being a good person. I'm a good girl. I know, because myself too. I'm a good girl. I did the same thing. I said yes to everybody. I'm this kind of person. I'm a typical people pleaser. I don't like to hurt people. I always love everything to go the way, let nobody be hurt in the process, until life happened to me where I literally lost everything. At that point where I was in my life, I was at that point where even if I wanted to be good, I couldn't be good because the narrative around me was like I was a terrible person, even when I knew I wasn't. And so that taught me something. One day I had people say all sorts about me, and one day my deliverance came one day when somebody was saying all sorts. And she texted me and she was like, "You're that." And I agreed with her. Before, I would try as much as possible to be defending myself. No, I'm not that kind of person. I'm a good person. God sees my heart. I didn't mean it this way. And that day, I just said, you know what? Yes, I am wicked. Yes, I'm heartless. And that was my deliverance. We're going to talk about the real reason why you've been people pleasing. Why it looks as if those that are very wicked, in quotes, are getting what you want, and you that has been a nice person is not getting what you want. This is not to say bad, endorsing bad character. No. It has a name. It's called people pleasing. And almost every woman has that thing in her. People pleasing, the poverty pipeline. If you're a woman that you're in business, or you're currently working for somebody, you've either been in it, you're currently in it, or you're at the edge right now. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why you are in it. You're going to have the tools on how to break out of it permanently. Because except you want to live a mediocre life that you end up sobbing about every single day, then this video is not for you. But if you want to live a life of difference, that woman that you have in your head, that woman that you see in your dream, you're going to have to make some very tough decisions. And that means you have to remove this people pleasing out from the way. It cannot follow you into your next level. I promise you that. So let me give you some numbers first. So a study was done in Harvard Business School by Carmage Mellon, right? And she found out that women who negotiated their salaries, these are women in top executive positions, women who negotiated their salaries and fees assertively earn significantly more over their careers than women who accept the first offer. This thing that we've been taught of women, just say yes, don't, if you are too much, they call you all sorts of names, they say you are mean, you are this. And one of the studies that was carried out said that this gap could exceed over $1 million in lifetime earning just from compounding because you did not negotiate, because you want to be in people's good books. In fact, in 2023, a report that was done by McKinsey found that women in business are likely, to undercharge for their services, accept late payment without consequences, and absorb scope creep without an additional billing. That's how women are. In fact, a study of entrepreneurs found out that women entrepreneurs charge an average of 20% lesser than their male-owned businesses in the same sector for the same quality of work. Why is that? 20%. Not because the work is lesser, not because the work is less quality, but because the woman behind it has been raised to make people feel uncomfortable. And this happened to me even up until, I think like last year. I was with my business partner and my partner, and then I was having this difficult client in my business that was not cooperating. And for me, I wanted to run. And he said to me, "What is wrong with you? Why do you shrink? Be firm." I wanted to this guy is stressing me. I don't like, can you be firm? Can you put the consequences because he did not do was needful on his part? Can you put the consequences? Can we sue him? But for me, I was, no, let's just let it go. And you see, that alone literally affected our revenue. How many times are you going to keep being a good girl and letting it affect you or stop you from becoming the woman that you are supposed to be? How long? I will tell you another story. Lady Sharon Sandberg, that's the CEO of Meta, described a phenomenon that is, she observed something across women, across corporate entrepreneurial setting. And she said that women who raised their hands were labeled as being aggressive. The women who negotiated were labeled as being difficult. And the woman, you're not supposed to be difficult. The women who set boundaries were labeled as being cold, mean, wicked. And what was the result? Women stopped raising their hands. Women stopped negotiating. Women were just saying yes to everything that comes across their way. Women who were incredibly skilled were shrinking just so that they can be liked by other people. And they were silently absorbing that cost. How long will you keep? You see, people pleasing is not just a personality trait. It's a trauma response. It's a survival mechanism. And it's costing you specifically from becoming that woman that you're meant to become. When you keep saying yes without boundaries, I'm going to show you 5 places where this people pleasing pipeline actually comes in and how it shows up in your everyday life. Number 1, you discount. And it doesn't just mean in terms of business, even in terms of your career. In terms of your career, you are discounting. When somebody says, and it happened to me and it cost me a lot because I got all form of toxic clients. I said, you know what, I would rather not have any clients at all than have someone who is, someone says, you know what, this is a little out of my budget. You even finish and they say, don't worry, let me just reduce the price for you. How many times have you done something like that? Someone says to you, you just tell you some sub story and then you bring down your standard. I discovered even when I was dating, the man that I never had standards for, I was just, anything just come. I was a pick me, what you typically call a pick me. I never had standard. I let him just do anything and get away with it. Guess what? That man never loved me. He said to me in my face, I am not in love with you. Because why? It's the one that put that. You can't be a good girl in quotes without any standard and expect things to fall back. The same thing applies to your business. You just folded because the idea of someone being disappointed in you is worse than you just leaving money on the table. And it's not just about the money. It reveals who you are on the inside. And so then when somebody was going to tell me then, coaching women, I'll really reduce the price and then I'll promise heaven and earth. And at the end of the day, I attracted all form of people that wanted a magician, not a coach. And what happened was that this thing ended up costing me toxic clients that called me all sorts of names. I started resenting my business. It was a very terrible season in my life. You don't want to go down that path. The second place that this people-pleasing thing shows up is what I call the scope creep observer. And I'm going to explain what that means. So it's the scope creep observer. So you are quoted for one thing. So let's say, for example, the client asks for just one more thing and another thing. Let's say your services, you said, I offer social media services, for example. And the client say, can you help me manage your YouTube channel? And then you add that and you say yes every single time because you might want to say, can you help me add this? And then you can't say no because saying no felt rude. Or it says to you that your job description, they say you do this and they say you just keep saying yes. You keep saying yes because you just want to be liked. You can't say no. So you are always this yes person. And every time you are doing the work, you are resenting it. You are angry. And somehow you are still apologizing for not being available. Let's talk about the phase 3, how this thing shows up. Next way it shows up is what I call the over-explainer. You explain. You want to get everybody to understand. You want to get everybody to like you, to understand that this is not this. Like I said, that was my deliverance. At the time, nobody understood what I was going through. Everyone just was seeing the surface. They never understood it. And they were all calling me all sort of names. At that point, I was trying to explain. Please, people should understand. You guys should understand. This is not who I am. This is one day, I had to accept it. Call me mean. Fine. I raise my prices. I'm a very wicked person. I'm heartless. That's fine. Accept it. You see, when you accept it, let me tell you what happens. It's like a deliverance. It frees you from a whole lot. Okay? Do not owe anyone explanation for your rate. I tell sometimes I'm with women, I say this price, this is too low. Increase it. And they're like, oh no, what if I lose all my clients? Well, how do I explain to them? You don't owe anybody an explanation. You are keeping them being stuck there. And you're resenting your business. You think you're doing them a favor? You're not. Sometimes you write, someone saying, my partner always he said, you're always fond of writing. When I was in a relationship at some point, because of you do this thing, right? When you're trying to express how you feel, You begin to write epistle. You type all this long justification, and then I would settle down, and then I would type, and then in response to, okay, it's as painful as that. And when I began to open my heart to love again the right way, he said to me, one of my partners then said to me, you don't have to begin to explain. Stop this epistle writing. Just stop it. You do not need to explain. Then I will have to understand my point of view on all of this. Calm down. The same thing applies to you that you're in business, trying to understand everybody's not your customer. I think that is the major deliverance that I need you to get to. If you've not got anything from this video, understand that everybody's not your customer. Everybody's not your ideal clients. There are people that would just not like your brand, and it's fine. There are people that will not just like your brand. They don't like your face. They don't like anything you sell. You didn't do anything to them. So they will find everything possible to bring you down. That's not on you. So stop over-explaining. When you go and see a doctor, I remember my dad was sick. He tells you this is what it's going to cost. This procedure is going to cost this. You don't go there and start beating down the price. Doctor, can I pay? Can I pay lesser? No. This is what I'm going to do for you. This is what it's going to cost. If you cannot afford it, that's fine. He doesn't beat down the prices. Then why are you beating down the price? You are beating them. Did they pity you back in return? Stop hurting your business. So the next is what I call the apology addict. Oh my God. I'm this lady as well too. And also, lady I was doing a session with, she said sorry more than 40 times, if I'm not exaggerating. Sorry. And you see, these things were learned from childhood. I used to be this person as well too. I will say sorry even when I don't even know what I did. I will say sorry just so that peace can reign. Even when the issue has not been sorted out. How many times have you said, and you keep saying sorry to bother you. I'm sorry to disturb you. Sometimes you're even having a conversation with the client and you're telling the client, sorry. Maybe they ask you for your price. Say, please, I'm sorry. Sorry is this amount of money. Do you know what that says to you? That you do not know your worth. That you don't have to begin to apologize for your existence. Stop it. It's demeaning you. Every apology you issue is like a withdrawal from your authority account. I'm not saying you shouldn't apologize. Please don't apologize when I'm wrong. Somebody said this, yeah, please, I am sorry. It's a beautiful thing. But I'm talking about the apology that's coming from a place of low self-esteem. I'm talking about the apology that whereby you did something wrong. Of course, you should apologize, but not the apology addict. That's on the word addict. Apology is necessary, it's good, but not the apology addicts. Apologizing for living, apologize for breathing. There are times when I'll cry, and my partner will say to me, then I'll say to him, I'm sorry. I'm like, what are you sorry for? For crying, for expressing yourself. And most times these are learned in maybe you were in a toxic relationship before, you were in a toxic household, you were in a household where you had to apologize just to exist. Sorry, come on. The next place this thing shows up as well is what I call endless availability. This thing affects women. The number 5, endless availability. No boundaries. You have no boundaries. And I did this in business too. It cost me a lot. Oh my God. Some of you in relationship, you have no boundaries. You have no rules. If you're telling people you're not a person of principles, you're not a person of values, and tell me why they will not leave you and go and pay somebody else a much more expensive amount. And those person they are paying is even very strict and mean. Because people love where there is order. I have clients that come to me and they say, look, Joy, I'm exhausted, I'm burnt out, and I'm this, and I check their business. A client can message you in the middle of the night. It's a different case if you are like a first responder, like a doctor. And even doctors have boundaries, talk less of you. I can message you in the middle of the night and call you. That's no boundary. And I was like that as well too. You can just wake up and message me at any time. No, I expect that I respond to you at that time. Maybe when I'm spending time with my family. Or a client can just come to you and expect you to perform magic. And then when it doesn't happen like that, then they call you all sorts of names. It's because you make yourself endlessly available. You are not firm on there are no boundaries. You don't have values you stand by in your company. You don't have things you stand by in your life to enforce boundaries. I used to be that person. And at the end of the day, I saw that because I was trying to be this nice girl, not to be hated, what I was trying to prevent ended up coming back to me. It happened to me in business, happened to me in relationship. No boundaries. Said yes to everything. No problem. Just wanted to be like. At the end of the day, I ended up losing. Not just the clients, the whole thing, even the relationship as well too. Because some of you will take on calls on weekends. You would, end up no boundaries. You are afraid someone will think that you're not unprofessional. You're actually training. What you're doing is you're actually training your client. You're training those people that you have zero respect for your time. I saw somebody say something one day and said, I think the person was advertised like a mentorship program or something, and the mentorship program was about 10,000 thereabout. I can't remember. But somebody said in the comment section and said, if I pay you this amount of money, you had better be available for me 247. You see what I'm talking about? Anybody that has that mindset should not even be in your clientele at all. But because of sometimes you have that scarcity mentality, it will affect you greatly in business. This scarcity mentality that if I lose this person, where will the next person come from? And so you accept all sorts of form of clients from everywhere, every angle, and then you wonder why they don't respect your time. The person was like, I'm going to, and some of them, they feel like because I paid you, then they are literally holding you by your kidney. I'm saying set boundaries. Be there for your clients. Give them utmost rest. Give them the time. Over deliver. Give them exceptional service. But set boundaries. It's not right that somebody, because they paid you some amount of money, then they are holding you by your kidney. Like the client that usually give the most difficulty. They expect you that because they paid for that program or because they paid for something, then automatically their whole life should automatically change, entire life, because they paid you for something. You see those clients run. They are paying you for something. You're not God. I think that was a pastor that said something like that. He said people would just call him at the middle of the night, and then he went and in front of a Catholic church and he saw that where Jesus was hung, said, you are not their savior. You are not. And if you try to be anybody's savior, you will just die. So it's important that you set boundaries. A woman whose time is not respected is a woman who is not being paid what she's worth. Check it anywhere. So I'm going to share with you, how can you break free from this? I'm going to share, there are a lot I have to share, but I'll share with you just 3 points. How you can be able to break free from this people-pleasing syndrome. So we're going to go with shift 1, 3 shifts we have to make. Replace niceness with warmth. Okay? There is distinctions that changed my business. Niceness is about managing people's comfort, right? Warmth is about genuinely caring about people's outcome. So instead of you being nice, trying to manage their comfort, trying not to displease them, replace it with warmth, whereby you are concerned, you're genuinely caring about their outcome. And those two things are not the same thing. So nice will say, don't worry, I'll reduce my price for you just so that you can be pleased. Warmth is saying, I charge this, okay? I deliver. And warmth is saying, I charge this because I deliver and I can give you this result. I respect you enough to give you the rate that reflects the transformation that I give. All right? So niceness is apologizing for existing. Nice, you're being apologetic, you are being nice, but warmth take up space with kindness. I'm not saying be wicked, be kind, but let there be boundaries, okay? Shift 2 that you have to make is make decisions based on value, not on comfort. Now, sometimes women that I work with sometimes struggle with comfort, or they are knowing their worth, not comfort, now knowing their worth. And I always ask them a question. If you are feeling guilty about charging this price, for example, in your business, I want you to tell me, what did it take you to get to this point right now? From where you are, from where you've been to where you are, what did it take you? And they start talking. They start saying, you know what, it costed me a lot. I failed. I lost a lot of money trying to do this. I'm like, and at that point, the light bulb switches. It then dawned on them that it's a lot. And so you have gone through that part of pain just so that you already know the processes and you can cut somebody's journey in more than half so that they don't have to go through the pain that you have gone through. Is it what you charging for right now? Then it's easy for them to say yes to it. So make decisions on the value, on transformation. The major reason why you can't charge what you're worth is because what you are doing is not transformative enough. I promise you. If what you are doing is what I can easily browse on ChatGPT, then there's no transformation there. What I can easily get easily, I can go to ChatGPT and get it, then it's no transformation. What you are giving them is information, and that's why it's very difficult for you to charge what you are worth. All right? So every time a moment of people pleasing show up, the urge to discount, the urge to apologize, the urge to accommodate, the urge to go lesser than what you're worth, stop and ask, what decision would a woman, values herself make here? If you really value yourself, what decision would she make? And that is the woman that you are becoming. Shift 3, is practice micro assertiveness daily. There's a difference between being assertive and being wicked and being mean. Okay? You don't have to start by negotiating $1 million deal. Start small. Say no when you mean it. Say no. Let people be angry with you. It's okay. Say no. They ask you, can you be here today? I'm sorry, I cannot. You are being a wicked person. You are being mean. Let them say that. And accept it. That's your deliverance right there. Accept it. If me being prioritizing time with my family over this is me being mean, then yes, I accept with my full chest. I'm it. Okay? It means that order the thing that you actually want at the restaurant without asking if it's okay. Do what you want to do without seeking for permission. Send a message without an apology. Send that email without saying, I'm sorry to bother you. No. Take up the space that has been assigned to you by God. So what this does is that it builds up your nervous system relationship with assertiveness. You can be able to say no without deflecting. You can be able to say no. You can be able to set boundaries. List all your values and begin to act on it. Here is what I want you to do for me this week, okay? Usually, don't forget, at the end of every video, I usually give away a free worksheet so that you don't just listen to my videos, you actually practice. So it contains what I shared with you today, the video summary, not just video summary, action worksheet, and the journals, and so on and so forth. Now, I want you to identify one place where you are being nice is costing you more. You're costing you no more, but you can't say no. And it can be a price that needs to be raised. It could be a relationship that you need to cut off, a boundary that needs to be set, a sorry that you have to just keep on sending, except if it's a genuine needed apology. So just pick one and just do one this week. Do it this week. Do it with love. Do it knowing that not everybody is going to, especially when you have been this yes person. By the time you have been firm on your boundaries, trust me, you're going to get people saying you are wicked, you are mean. That's fine. If you are not willing to accept that, then don't even start. Commit to it and come back here and tell me how it has completely transformed your life. I would love to hear it. Being a good girl, in terms of character, is good. But being a good girl whereby you are saying yes to everybody, everything, and they are overriding and taking advantage of you is very bad. Trust me. It's good that you know your values and you stand by it. I'll see you guys in my next video. For now, bye.